So here is one of the golden zucchini flowers. It looks just the same as the green zucchini. And in the center you have the pollen-bearing part, which in the male flower is called a stamen. And the most flowers have both female and male parts. But with zucchini, it's unique in, well, not unique, there are other plants that do the same, but it's more specified in that it has only the stamen, the male part, with the pollen on it. And so then this is the golden zucchini female flower, and you can see it has what's called the pistil, where the pollen is received and finds its way down to fertilize the ovum. And so I'm just going to take the male and pollinate, but it would be better to take the petals off again. So here we've removed the petals very simply. By the way, they're edible and quite delicious, and in fact some farms uniquely grow the squash for the flowers and sell them, market them. Of course, you can take off the males and use those without affecting your fruit production, as long as you reserve some for pollination. They're quite delicious and quite colorful. I've eaten them on a pizza in Italy, and you can eat them in salad raw. So raw or cooked, they're good. A lot of parts of plants that we don't use in the regular market system are edible. You just have to consult and find out how to use them and what parts those are. So you may be asking the question, how do I know which types of plants in a greenhouse that need hand pollination? And of course you can simply Google it. You can look it up in a gardening book if it has that information. Tomatoes, for instance, will tend to self-pollinate just by picking tomatoes, just by any sort of shaking. So we don't really have to hand pollinate the tomatoes in the greenhouse. I think they do practice it with other plants like eggplant when they're growing them inside. And yeah, there's probably a list you can access through the internet and find out what they are. Here you can see the flower of the female is already closed up. It's done its job, so it doesn't need to be pollinated. Some nice looking plants here. Occasionally you will find a plant that is looking sickly. This happens a lot with zucchini. For instance, as we walk down the row and scan, all of a sudden you see a wilted plant. And this can be caused by several things. It can be caused by cutworm or squash bugs. Squash bugs suck the sap and infect the plant with bacteria. And the cutworm basically just eats inside the stem and kills the plant down at the base. And in a later video we'll talk about prevention measures for that sort of thing. So you got to keep an eye out for instance, we have some perhaps aphids there, and there are natural methods for taking care of these things.